In this video, we'll talk about how people produced fabrics and textiles in the past. First, let's start from the 17th century. In the 17th century, fabrics took a really big role in Finland's foreign trade. Woolen fabrics accounted for about 1/5 of Finland's imports. Sweden didn't want to spend money abroad, so it was important to get the local manufacturers going. However, domestic production couldn't afford the massive demand in the beginning. Quote, Finland was once a part of Sweden. The textiles manufactured at the beginning of the 17th century were mostly produced in the countryside, such as rough, woolen fabrics, linen fabrics and hemp fabrics. Higher quality fabrics were mostly imported from other countries, such as Germany and England. For the rich, cheaper fabrics were knitted at homes and sold to cities. Tools, machines used in the production of the fabrics were shears, sickle, raka, hackle, distaff, and spinning wheel. Most commonly used fabric types were woolen fabric, mostly for the poor, cloth, plant fiber, and silk, high-class people. Back then, the people that lived in Finland were mostly farmers, so their fashion was just wearing clothes made of cheap plant fiber and wool, and a pair of leather boots. In the 19th century, the industrialization began in the 1840s, which speeded up the production of clothes. Then there was a guy called James Finlayson, which started a new era in Finnish fabric manufacturing. He set up his first cotton factory in Tampere in 1820, and about 20 years later it became the biggest one in Finland. First knitting machines in Finland were introduced in 1838, which made fabric manufacturing faster. In this century, farmers still were the majority class of the society, but there was also a surprisingly small group of people that had the money to get better clothes. For those people, they have keened on the clothing trend of other European countries, such as tuxedos for men and lace dress for women. And now something about modern days. Today we have all kinds of different brands that make their own kinds of cloths, but here we're only going to mention a few examples from all the manufacturers. The first one is Fredriksson's graduation cap. Fredriksson is part of MASI company Oy, which has moved most of its manufacturing to Estonia. But the graduation caps are made in Viitasaari. They are handmade out of velvet, viscose and crushed leather with dyes and latex. They also have vegan caps made out of velvet, cellulose and PVC plastic. J. Allos Felt Factory. Their felt products are handmade in Jämsä. Felt shoes are made of 100% sheep wool. And they also produce sauna hats and felt bags. Luckily, we got in touch with them. And we've got some specific details of their production. Here's how they describe their production process. Our products are 100% made of real sheep wool. And they are all felted with the help of the machines we have. The wool blankets come in rolls and they are so-called needle blankets. The wool is needled into one flat blanket. And from the needle blankets, with the help of our measurements, we cut the parts of the products from the blanket. And the parts will be assembled later. After this process, those parts are sent to the felting machine. There are a couple of different types of felting machines that are used just to give them the right hardness. Finally, the products will be lasted manually, to give them the right shape and size. Lasting requires strength, because it takes quite a force just to hit the product into the shape we desire. After this last process, the products are finished and ready for sale. When the products are produced, there are about 100 different stages when it comes to making them, and the production takes about a week. Other textiles. Nowadays many companies have moved their factories to other countries because Finnish labor is more expensive compared to countries in East Europe and Asia. For example, Karjalan Puku Oy, Karelia's suit, used to manufacture its suits in Jyväskylä, but now the suits are mostly made in Eastern Europe ever since 2008. Last not least, the products made in central Finland are mostly made by hand.